Ahoy there, crew! This is your captain speaking, and today we're taking some creepy critters and turning them into hopefully cute monster girls. The night was calm. The only sound was that of the gentle whooshing of the wind. It whistled every so often, around the corners and through the crevices of a lone house in the forest. It had served as a shelter to many a guest. However, none ever dared call it home. Weary travelers would often arrive on its steps. The house served as a place of comfort, but only for so long. After a few nights, the walls would start to shift and strange noises would erupt from the deepest recesses of the building. Any sane person would leave, but not every visitor is as sensible. It was on a night like any other that, for once, someone sought answers. An unlikely duo had found themselves within the house, one's curiosity getting the better of them. The first character we'll be going over was supposed to be loosely based on a tarantula, but she didn't end up very fluffy, so she's more just a general spider. Since there's a bit more of a story link to these characters, she will need a name. So let's call her Ellie. She's definitely the sunshine out of the traveling duo. She genuinely believes that she and her traveling companion can make the house feel better, so that it may allow guests to stay for longer and maybe even be claimed by someone again. She may be a little too oblivious for her traveling companion, though. Now, let's talk a bit more about her appearance. Ellie's face and spider body are definitely points that are meant to draw attention. I'm especially proud of her dark eyes. They look a little creepy, but are still friendly and welcoming somehow. I think it is so good with them. Her fangs are also a detail that draw her to a more creepier side of things. The cat mouth and all her other details still somehow make her look friendly. I gave her a jellyfish haircut. Haircut always seems like a quirky choice to me, so it definitely suits her perfectly. Now for her choice of clothing, she may seem a little weird, and it is when I look a little too intensely at it. I wanted her clothing to have some patterns, even if they don't clash as intensely as I would have liked. I'm not too sure how I would have done that in a satisfying way. I just wanted her to look a little bolder and maybe a little out of place. Like, what is this girl doing in a very clearly haunted house? But she's just a traveler that happened to run into another character. She doesn't really have a specific goal, she just wants to see and experience as much as possible on her way to her destination. Now meet Ellie, a curious soul in more ways than one. The second character I'll be introducing today is based on a giant Asian hornet. She'll no doubt be the most dangerous of the group. I think I'll name her Alina. Normally, Alina wouldn't travel alongside anyone. Ellie's distractedness annoys her to no end, so it often comes as a shock to others that they travel together. Alina acts cold and uncaring, but she was really the one who suggested that they travel together. She knows if she doesn't, Ellie's curiosity might just end up getting her killed. She might as well keep an eye on her since they are headed towards the same destination, even if they're traveling there for very different reasons. I think Alina would definitely be traveling as a sort of quest for revenge. Now for Alina's outfit, I really wanted her to be sort of Slavic inspired, with all the fur details, and then the more obvious detail being her hat. I even drew her antennas sticking out from under it. I think that's a very cute ad. Her hair is pretty poofy. I wanted it to be shorter but still have some more shape to it. Of course, I gave Alina a mask. I think she wears it both for the cold and to help her stay a little more distant. Of course, I had to add in some bright yellow wings to her design. I'm not sure if they'd just be an accessory or literal wings folded in a way that they come up and over her shoulders. I don't really think of the logistics here, I just thought it would look good. There was a little bit of a debate over whether I should give her other Hornet features. The striped body was a little too striking to pass up, so I had to add that in. It was a little hard to figure out how it would work with the dress, but I think it looks okay with how I ended up doing it. In the end, Alina turned out quite pretty. I really love how I rendered the fur detailing and her wings. But now that we have our traveling duo, the house's alleged hauntings need a source. And what better source than another character with a hint of supernatural abilities? This final character is based on a vampire bat, so of course I had to make her a mysterious vampire. Let's call her Judy. I think that's a cute name for her. Now, she'll come into this hypothetical story as an antagonist of sorts. The mysterious house in the forest belongs to her. She allows people to take shelter there, but uses her illusion magic to scare them off if they've overstayed their welcome. She is overly confident and full of herself. That is, until people get involved. She's deathly afraid of them and starts tripping over her thoughts and words. That's why she does things in such a roundabout way. Ellie would definitely try to drag Judy along for her and Alina's journey. You know, get her out of the house she's been cooped up in and get to know some people. But enough about her story role, let's talk about her physical design. I gave her some typical vampire features: bright red eyes, white hair, pale grey skin. They are accompanied by literal bat ears though to make it a little more interesting. It may be a little too on the nose, but I think it's cute and adds to her silhouette. Speaking of her silhouette, the first thing I solidified in her design is the mermaid style dress. I just knew she needed it, and I love the edge detailing I gave it. It's meant to mimic the shape of bat wings. I think every part of her turned out really good, especially when it comes to her dress. That has to be my favorite part, but meet Judy, the walking paradox. Here they all are though. I love all their designs, but looking back, Judy's bat ears might be a bit much. I still can't decide who's my favorite though. I'd love to know which character you like the most down in the comments. But that's all for today, crew. Be sure to like and subscribe so I can see you again for our next voyage. Bye bye!